Hey, how you doing today? Today is probably going to be one of the more interesting ones, possibly even controversial ones. This is going to act as day 6. We're getting right to it. A buddy of mine sent in a question from Chicago. He texted me, and it's an interesting question. I really want to get to it. Again, this is Day by Days, Relationships and Romance. We're just taking godly wisdom and just applying it, bringing it right to you, right on your screen, right by video. We do hope that the videos from before have helped. If this is your first day viewing, please make sure check out some of the other videos. I hope they're of interest to you. If you want to send questions, comments, concerns, snide remarks, the email and the Facebook will be right there. Feel free to. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to deal with relationships and romance, godly wisdom, the Holy Spirit intervening, blessing us, teaching us what it is that we need to know. So let's get to this question. The question was, if you are married, is it all right to use porn to stimulate your sex life? First and foremost, what I want to do is I want to deal with a couple of statistics here. So let's deal with them. Here are a couple of statistics, and these statistics, the sources are the BBC, which is a worldwide broadcasting organization, safefamilies.org, you can check that out, and nationalcoalition.org, you can check that out. The least popular day for watching porn throughout the year is, drumroll please, Thanksgiving. The most popular day of the week for watching porn, ironically, is Sunday. That's an interesting one. 20% of men admit to watching porn online at work. And 13% of women admit to watching porn online at work. I have a feeling those higher numbers are higher, but hey, this is those who are bold enough to say, I'm a porn addict and I'm all right with it. When I'm supposed to be working, I watch porn. Interesting. Really interesting. Utah has the highest online porn subscription rate per thousands of home broadband users. They have the highest one. That's interesting. Utah is the home of Mormonism. In some sense, you can call it the bed of Mormonism, and it's interesting that that would be the case. Leaving that alone for right now. 1/3 of porn viewers are women, so let's not try to make it only a man issue per se. People are like, oh, well, you know, all these men, but women are having challenges too with this. Every second, $3,075.64 is being spent on pornography, and 28,258 internet users are viewing porn. Even some people maybe right now are doing porn and watching this video. That's a whole nother weird situation. Think about this right here. Know that pornography also comes in magazines, books. It also comes in videotapes and DVDs. But this is just about internet porn. Check this out. Worldwide, the revenue for internet porn is a $4.9 billion industry. $4.9 billion. So let's really deal with that and what that means for us. One, obviously porn is popular. Porn is very, very popular. The gentleman asked me, my buddy asked me very simply, is it all right for married couples? Now, he has his own feelings and opinions about it, and so I want to address it as specifically as it deals with married couples. But what we need to know is this. First and foremost, sex, the act of sex, that type of intimacy is only meant for married couples, one man, one woman, under God's covenant of marriage, living together for a lifetime. That's where sex was intended to happen, under one God, one covenant, one flesh for a lifetime. So we want to get that clear and out the way. If you're having sex outside of marriage, according to the Word of God, you are absolutely wrong. And what they call that, obviously, is sin. You're wrong. And you just have to deal with that, and that's the judgment of God. I'm just letting you know what it is. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, snide remarks, please feel free to post them to me, and we'll address them accordingly as God leads. But anyway, let's think about it in marriage. Now, if the idea is this, that pornography is all right as long as you're married, that would suggest that God is cool with the pornography industry. The pornography industry. Because most of the people who are dealing with porn, or they're not having sex, they say, with their spouse on video camera. They're having sex with other people on video camera. And even if they do have a spouse, they're committing adultery on their spouse by having sex with someone else on video camera. So then someone may ask, well, what if it's two married people having sex on video camera? So let's really deal and dig into that and whether that should be used to stimulate your relationship. First and foremost, the sexual intimacy that happens in marriage should come from love. The other day we covered love, and love is about giving, about serving, about sacrifice. So the two people should actually be servant lovers. They should sacrifice what they want for what the other person wants. They should give. They should give time, energy, effort, creativity into planning their sexual relationship. They should serve the other person, and the other person, vice versa, then should serve them. Husbands, you should serve your wives. Wives, you should serve your husbands. You are servant lovers. You are not just having sex, but you're honestly, truly, quote unquote, making love. And so the key piece is that if you're saying to yourself, well, you know what, I need to bring something from outside the bedroom, inside the bedroom, to help me want to make love or be creative in my love making with my wife, that's quite the message. That's quite the message. To say that type of intimacy, that type of interaction needs to be sparked up by somebody coming outside and me actually looking at them, and that's going to make me hard, or that's going to make me erect, or that's going to make my juices flow and I'm ready to go now because I looked at somebody else and what I saw made me actually want to have sex with you. That's quite the statement. That's quite the statement. The Bible talks about something called the lust of the eye. Pornography deals heavily into the lust of the eye. And what that ends up happening then is it causes dissatisfaction oftentimes with your mate, especially for people who are fornicating. They just can't seem to settle down or get committed because they're dissatisfied. The thing that pornography does is it makes you want, quote unquote, what you think is the best of everything, so you never become satisfied. There's always someone whose breasts are bigger, or butt is more firm, or butt is more round, or more perfect, and people are always trying to look for this thing. And so a lot of guys, because they're porn addicts, they can't settle down because they're watching so much porn and no woman fits up to that bill. Even if they have sex with the woman, then they're like, well, she doesn't do it like the woman on the porn video, or they're trying to make her do it like the woman on the porn video. So they're not actually loving that person or looking for that person. They're trying to turn her into that porn star. They're trying to look at her as they see that porn star. Somebody that serves them. Somebody that does for them. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm in this relationship to serve you. And you cannot serve someone well in a relationship if you're not married and having sex with them. That's not good service, because you're causing them to be outside the will of God. And that's not love. What that is nothing but flesh and lust. A lot of people are dealing with lust and not love. A lot of people are in lust and not love. See, the beautiful part is that if God ordained sex, and He did, He ordained sex, He ordained it inside of marriage, healthy, committed, regular sex inside a marriage relationship. The 1 Corinthians chapter 7 kind of talks about that a husband's body is no longer his, it belongs to his wife, and a wife's body is no longer hers, it belongs to her husband, literally meaning that you serve one another with your bodies. If that be the case, then guess who will keep that marriage? Keep that spark alive. Keep that fire burning. If anything, you need to seek the one who said to you, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ordain this, and then He will also be the one to sustain it. Many people go outside their marriage looking for things to try to make it more exciting. But you need to first seek God and allow Him to sustain it. Am I saying that reading books about a woman's anatomy, or reading books about a woman's physiology, or reading books about a woman's biology, or that stuff is wrong? Absolutely not. The key piece is when you engage in the lust of the eye or the lust of the flesh, trying to make yourself feel the love enough to have very creative, intimate, involved, serving, giving, sacrificing sex with your mate. That's a problem. You don't bring in outside factors like that to cause you to lust so you can feel like you want to actually have fun with your mate. You should have a service attitude towards your mate and a desire, a wholehearted desire to have fun with your mate. If you're losing that love, that's why you're losing that intimacy. That's why you're lacking that creativity. It's not because you don't have any more ideas. God will bless you with ideas about how to serve and best love your wife in the bedroom if you just ask Him. I believe it with my whole heart. I believe it with my whole heart. And I want you to also know that, because again, God has ordained sex. God has ordained it for a healthy, one woman, one man, marriage committed to death do us part relationship. And he will sustain that thing, and he'll keep that thing, definitely. And again, yes, you can find information out. But watching videos from an industry that God has not ordained, that God does not support, an industry that most people who are having sex are maybe not married, and if they are married, they're not having sex with their partner. An industry that has crippled so many people that they can't have healthy relationships because they're always bouncing from relationship to relationship. And what it does again for men and even for women is it causes them to try to find somebody to fit their fancy and never be satisfied with what they have. One man said this, a pastor is very beautiful. He said, "My concept of beauty is my wife." He said, "My concept of beauty will always be my wife." And that's a lovely thing. It's not about, oh, she's more beautiful than my wife, or she's not as beautiful as my wife. My wife is beautiful to me and is beauty to me. So whatever my wife looks like, he said, at age 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever she looks like, that's beauty to me. And the key piece in him saying that is simply this. He is completely, wholeheartedly satisfied with his wife. And they're satisfied serving one another, especially even in sexual intimacy, for the rest of their lives. You need to ask yourself some honest questions. Why is it that you want to bring porn into your bedroom? Is it because you have lost that fire, that passion that you're supposed to have for your wife or for your husband? What caused you to lose that fire, that passion? And how is lusting after what someone else is doing on screen really going to help you to gain that back? I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. It's just going to cause you to lust for things that you're missing out on, and then try to cause you or ask you, your husband or your spouse or your wife, whoever the person is, to try to be like the person on the screen and not to love you as they have in their heart. You want a person to love you from their heart, not based on what someone else is trying to show them to do. I want my spouse, my wife, to love me from my heart. And I want that creativity, that fire, that flow, that energy to come from a deep place within her, and that passion. God will renew all that. He'll restore all that if that's missing from your marriage. The answer is no. God will not have you have porn in your bedroom. God will not have married couples to watch porn. It is an industry that is wicked by its very nature and promotes deviant sexual activity. I pray to God that this has helped. This is probably the longest video I've done, just because I wanted to really dig into some issues. There are going to be some resources, and there are resources on this video for those who may be struggling with porn. Please visit some of the websites, get some more information. I know God can work with you. I know God can help you. Men and women struggling with porn, or men and women struggling with their marriage and porn, or whatever the case might be. God will bless you. God bless you. I love you. I really hope this has been of help.